4 weeks, that is how long Aston Martin and Honda had between Japan and Miami, and they used it differently to every other team on the grid. While Ferrari was rebuilding half their car at Monza, while Mercedes was doing tyre runs at the Nürburgring, Aston Martin sent their actual race car to Honda's Sakura factory. Not a mule, not a development chassis, the car that raced at Suzuka. They put it on a dyno, connected it to Honda's full sensor array, and started looking for answers. Shintaro Orihara, Honda's lead trackside engineer, sat inside the car himself during some of that testing, to feel the vibrations. Not in simulation, actually sat in it. That detail says something. When your chief engineer is sitting in a stationary car on a dyno trying to understand what your driver has been experiencing since Australia, you are past the stage of theoretical fixes. Today is sprint qualifying day at Miami. 7-8 hours from now, Alonso and Stroll will be on track for the first time in 5 weeks, and we are about to find out if any of it worked. Here is something that has not been widely reported. Until the Sakura testing during the April break, Honda had never been able to run the AMR26's engine while connected to the actual chassis, not once. The late build of the car, Newey pushed the construction timeline aggressively, meant the infrastructure at Silverstone was never properly set up for this kind of integrated testing, and Sakura was not equipped for it either, until they made it work. Having the car there changed the nature of what Honda could measure. On a normal dyno, you are testing the power unit in isolation. Connected to the chassis, you are testing the system. The vibration frequencies causing Alonso to lose sensation in his hands and feet are not just an engine problem, they are a resonance problem between the engine, the chassis, and the mounting points between them. Orihara confirmed Honda brought hardware changes to Miami, first time all season. Previously everything had been countermeasures, isolating symptoms rather than the source. This time they worked at the source. What exactly changed? They will not say. We can't explain the detailed points. That phrase came up 3 times in Orihara's media sessions, but he said he is confident in what they have brought. 4 weeks is not long for hardware modifications. Orihara said that himself. Whatever changed was already in the pipeline before Sakura. The factory work accelerated and validated it. Mike Crack said something in Miami that team principals almost never say out loud. We cannot expect miracles coming to Miami. That is not spin. That is a team principal standing in front of media saying specifically, clearly do not expect us to be competitive this weekend. He also said something else worth paying attention to. He talked about Melbourne and Shanghai, about how far they have come since then. In Australia, both cars failed to finish. In China, Alonso took his hands off the wheel. In Japan 18th, 1 lap down, but finished. Crack sees that as a trajectory. Reliability first, then performance. He said as soon as your reliability issues are mitigated, the spotlight is on performance, which implies they are getting close to that transition. The honest counter is the numbers. Aston Martin are approximately 2 seconds off the pace in qualifying. 2 seconds. That is not a reliability problem. That is a chassis and engine problem that no vibration reduction fixes overnight. The big aero updates are not coming until Silverstone or Spa. DUO performance upgrades are not available until after Canada. The weight is being worked on race by race. So yes, no miracles. But something has changed. Whether it is enough to let both drivers finish a full race distance without physical discomfort, that is what today's sprint qualifying starts to answer. If you're following this story, you already know where to find us. This one surprised me when I saw it properly laid out. Aston Martin and Cadillac are last and second to last. Everyone knows that. But the data from the first 3 races tells a more nuanced story. In qualifying, the AMR26 is a few tenths ahead of the Mach 26, consistently. In races, Cadillac has shown linear improvement from Melbourne to Suzuka and has been closing that gap. Consider what that means. Cadillac is a brand new team, first season, no prior Formula One infrastructure, running a customer Ferrari engine, and they are within a few tenths of a team with Adrian Newey, a Works-Honda partnership, a state-of-the-art Silverstone campus. The gap between both of them and the rest is enormous, over 3 seconds to the front, over a second to Williams in 11th. But the internal comparison matters because it shows what kind of problem Aston Martin actually has. Not a small deficit to the midfield, a structural problem that puts them alongside a debut team. Their pit stops confirm it. Ferrari is averaging 2.38 seconds per stop this season. Aston Martin are averaging over 4 seconds. This is not an outlier, this is the baseline, a 360-degree problem, not an engine problem with a chassis that would otherwise be competitive. The big aero update is coming. Silverstone or Spa. That is what Auto Racer reported, and nothing from Aston Martin contradicts it. Here is what I think is underappreciated about that timeline. Silverstone is race 9. Spa is race 10. We are at race 4. That means Aston Martin are planning to race a car with no significant aerodynamic development for 5 or 6 consecutive weekends after Miami. While Ferrari brings updates every race, while McLaren arrived here with a near completely new car, while Red Bull ran a substantial package at Silverstone during their filming day. The reason for the delay is not lack of effort. The Aston Martin wind tunnel was not operational until mid-April 2025, 4 months late. The aerodynamic model the AMR26 is based on had 4 months less development than any rival. You cannot shortcut that. A DUO adds another layer. Honda's performance upgrade eligibility is confirmed after Canada Race 6. If Honda qualifies for maximum allocation, they get 2 performance upgrade opportunities this season. 2, not a stream of improvements, 2 moments. So the realistic picture is this: survive to Silverstone, get the aero update, wait for ADUO after Canada, introduce a Honda performance step at the right moment. That is not a championship plan, it is a survival plan. And right now, today, the question is just whether both cars make it to the end of the sprint race. Let me be direct about what Miami specifically answers, because it is not what most people think. It is not whether Aston Martin can score points. It is not whether the car is suddenly competitive. It is not whether Newey's chassis has the potential his reputation suggests. The only question today is whether both cars finish. That is it. In Australia, neither finished. In China, Alonso retired mid-race with his hands off the wheel. In Japan, 18th, 1 lap down, but the checkered flag. That was the high point of the season so far. At Suzuka, the Friday countermeasures worked. Then they were removed overnight because they were not reliable enough for race conditions. If that happens again in Miami, if the hardware changes Honda brought collapse under race pressure the same way the Suzuka countermeasures did, then the conversation about Aston Martin's 2026 season becomes significantly darker. Not because one bad weekend defines anything, but because it would mean the Sakura work did not deliver what Orihara said he was confident about, and confidence without results is just words. Sprint qualifying is in a few hours. That is the first real data point, not a dyno, not a simulator, an actual lap with Alonso pushing the car at the limit. That is where this story either takes a step forward or doesn't. Orihara sat in the car. Honda brought hardware changes first time all season. Crack said no miracles. All 3 true at the same time. That is Aston Martin on May 1, 2026. The vibrations might be better. The car is still 2 seconds off the pace. The big updates are months away. And Alonso and Stroll have not turned a competitive lap since Japan. But here is the thing. For the first time this season, the team might actually understand what it is dealing with. Not because the car is suddenly good, because Orihara sat in it, felt what Alonso feels every time he pushes past 20 laps, went back to Sakura and came back with hardware changes rather than workarounds. That is a different kind of starting point. Small, maybe too small, but different. Whether different means better, sprint qualifying answers that first, a few hours, first real laps, first real data that is not a dyno or a simulator. You know where to find us.